Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Today I am going to be talking all about foundation primers. People are always asking me like, do I use primers? Do I believe in primers? Which primers are good? A lot of that has to do with you and your skin. Do I believe in primers? If you asked me that question 2 years ago, I would have said no. Now I do think there are really good primers on the market, and they're all kind of like good or not so good for different reasons. So today I'm going to be delving into 3 questions. The first one is, what is a primer? The second one is, what do primers do in general? And the third one is, what do the different kinds of primers on the market do? And I will be giving a few examples of ones that I've heard of or my favorites. So the first question, what is a primer? A primer is a cosmetic that is applied prior to your foundation and after your moisturizer. A primer can be infused with skincare or certain skin benefits, but it is in the makeup family. It does not necessarily replace your moisturizer or anything like that. The second question is, what do primers do in general? In general, a primer should be doing 3 things. First, it should be making your makeup adhere to your face. Second, it should be making your makeup wear longer. And third, it should be making your makeup look better. If your primer is not doing 2 out of these 3 things, I would say it's time to either ditch the primer or find a new primer that's better for your skin type. All the different types of primers help to balance and maintain different types of skin and different skin concerns. Whether that concern be texture or, your skin tone, there's probably a primer on the market that is meant to correct that prior to your foundation application. And whether you have like an oily, dry, mature skin type, there should be a primer on the market that is going to balance any excess oil or dryness or that kind of thing. So first I'm going to delve into skin type and what kind of primers you should be looking for based on your skin type. So the first skin type I'm going to talk about is oily skin. I can make a video going more in depth about how to determine your skin type. I'm not going to talk about that so much in this video, just specifically about primers. So for oily skin, you want to go with a mattifying primer. Unless your skin is not so oily and you like that kind of dewy look, definitely go with a mattifying primer. Most mattifying primers have silicate in them. Not dimethicone, not silicone, silicate. Primers that have this ingredient that you'll find like at regular retailers are the Makeup Forever Mattifying Primer, the Becca Evermatte Shine Proof Primer. Both of those primers are excellent. I have a feeling, I have like sort of oily skin. I have a feeling personally that silicate irritates my skin and makes me break out. Most people don't have that issue though. So just kind of like take a sample home, be careful, try it. Again, most people don't have a problem with that ingredient, but that's the ingredient that makes a primer mattifying. Matte means without shine. So if you have oily skin, you're going to get shiny throughout the day, and that's what you want to prevent. So you want to use a mattifying primer. Another type of mattifying primer is water-based, like the Benefit Porefessional Matte Rescue. I haven't seen anything like this before, so I don't have a ton of experience to speak to. I don't understand how this doesn't have silicate in it and mattifies. It's good for my skin because number 1, silicate doesn't work well with my like acne, and number 2, my skin isn't so oily. Like something like the Becca one would actually be too drying or too intense for my skin type. So this, if you have like kind of oily skin, is perfect. Now if you have dry skin, you kind of have 2 options. You can use a primer water or hydrating setting spray. Now it's not going to necessarily correct any texture on the skin, obviously, because it's just like a water or a spray, which we'll get into later. Another thing you can do is use one of those hydrating primers that resembles a lotion. So those usually look a little bit milky. If you have very dry skin, you should go with the Makeup Forever Nourishing Primer. There are also those coconut primers like the Marc Jacobs one and the Too Faced one. So then there are like the clear glycerin water-based primers. There's the Kat Von D one, which is really, really nice. I really like these 2 that are gold infused by NYX and Guerlain. These are also really suitable for mature skin, which I'll get back to in a second. But basically these get kind of tacky because of the glycerin in them, and the gold in them actually helps to firm and tighten your skin as well. I just find that with these, even though I have slightly oily skin, if I like powder enough and stuff, if I use these, like it makes my makeup looks so fresh all day, which I really, really enjoy, especially because makeup goes cakey on me really quickly. If you have mature skin, the reason I would recommend those two again is because they do have gold in them, which is firming. And you generally want to go with a hydrating primer for mature skin. It's not that like people with mature skin will never have oily skin. Generally speaking, they're more dry. So something like one of these, again, is going to be ideal for mature skin because they're gold infused and because they're glycerin based and hydrating. Now, lastly, if you have combination skin, that means you have dry patches and oiliness. First of all, check your skincare routine, because if you have combo skin, your skin might be dehydrated and producing excess oils to help compensate for your dry patches, but that's another matter. In terms of primers, you want to use a mattifying primer where you're oily. That will help the makeup adhere to your oily spots, usually on the nose, a little bit in here, up here, and then you want to use a hydrating primer everywhere else. I like that the NYX one has honey in it. Honey actually helps to balance combination skin. Now the next category is skin concerns. For skin concern, I'm gonna kind of go in primer order. Like, I'm going to talk about the primer and then what kind of skin concern it addresses. So the first one is smoothing primers, and these usually have dimethicone in them. So the Smashbox clear primer, that one is really high in dimethicone, and that one's going to be intensely smoothing. So if you have fine lines, wrinkles, or enlarged pores. If you have enlarged pores, the Benefit Porefessional is also really good. Not the one I just showed you, the Matte Rescue, but the original. The Makeup Forever Smoothing Primer is amazing for that as well. So a lot of people wonder what to do with a green primer. Green primers are for people with fair to light skin tones who have redness all over. Now, if you just have like some like red spots, maybe you want to use like a green concealer prior to your foundation, because you want like a more concentrated, more precise application. If you want to even out redness all over your face prior to foundation, a green primer can be really good for that. Makeup Forever has the best green primer in my opinion. Unfortunately, Makeup Forever is not cruelty free. If you want a cruelty free option, go with the Smashbox one. Unfortunately, I just do think the Makeup Forever one is better. For pink or lavender primers, those are for people with a light yellow skin tone like mine who want to brighten or correct dullness. Purple is the opposite of yellow, so anything in that purple pinky family is going to brighten up your like under eyes and stuff like that by cooling down the yellow, and that's gonna make your face look less sallow, a lot more bright. And then a peach primer. Peach is going to brighten medium to dark skin tones. Now, you might be thinking, oh my god, that is so much information. There are so many primers on the market. Just like, what am I going to do? First of all, I know it can be difficult to identify your skin type and your skin concerns. If you want me to make a separate video on that, I definitely can. Otherwise, here's my advice. If you know your skin type and skin concerns, be prepared to go into a retailer and be like, hey, this is like what my skin is like. I'm looking for a primer that's going to do this. Don't just go into a store and be like, what's the best primer? If they're doing their job right, then they should be asking you, well, what kind of skin do you have and what do you want your primer to do? Hopefully this video kind of addressed or opened the door to you asking questions and getting answers for yourself in terms of what you would like your primer to do for you. I do have like a very holistic mindset when it comes to choosing the right product for you. I don't like to be very prescriptive. But I know that that can come at the cost of, you know, like overloading people on information. Let me know if you like this style video or if it was just way too overwhelming. I'd really like to know your thoughts. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye!